Right, so there's been some relatively big news in the MMA world. Um, Sean Strickland versus Dracus du Plessis in January, Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilya Zaporia in February, and Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera 2 in March. The first thing I've got to say about this is I don't get the order. I really think they should have had Volk fight in March, Sean fight in February, just so you can give Volk a bit more of recovery time. But I'll get into that. Sean Strickland versus du Plessis. I thank God du Plessis got the title shot instead of Khamzat. You know, he's just beat Whitaker. That should be a title shot. He's just, TKO'd Whitaker in the second round. That should 110% be a title shot. And Khamzat's coming off a win against a welterweight on 10 days' notice, which should have been a draw. So yeah, this is a fight to make. It's a really interesting fight. Both guys are known for their forward pressure. Sean Strickland's not as much as a finisher. Du Plessis is. I would say my early predictions would probably be du Plessis. But it's an interesting one due to Sean's obviously his cardio. He's known to go 5 rounds. Drickers is not known to go 5 rounds. He's actually known to gas out, but he's had his nose fixed. He didn't gas out in the last fight, so it's a really interesting fight. Volkanovski versus Topuria in February. That fight scares me. At least it's not in January, but February isn't much better in reality. I wanted March. I thought March was the perfect date. Clearly, the UFC did not think that was the perfect date. However, I am excited to see it, and I probably will pick Volk. But this is much more of a 50-50 now. Whereas if it was in January, I would have said Topuria wins. If it was in March, I would have said Volk wins. But now that it's been in February, it's a bit more of a 50-50, right? It's in between. Volk, more well-rounded. Ilya Topuria, young, inexperienced, fairly well-rounded. You know, he's got good boxing. Fuck me, why is Merab standing on the edge of a building? I'm sorry. Volk's more well-rounded. Topuria, I think, will have a problem with leg kicks. He checks a few, but when you got Volk coming at you that quick, yeah, and I think he'll struggle with someone who is just as big as him, maybe, because Ilya Topuria's got that Mike Tyson about him. He can kind of duck under shots, eat you with his boxing. It's a good fight. It's a really good fight. Maybe Volk won't win. Maybe he will. I'm betting on him will. O'Malley versus Chito Vera 2. I do not see this going the same way as the first one, to a certain point. I thought O'Malley was schooling him in that first fight. I think we'll have a very Adesanya-like performance from O'Malley, because it's not likely Chito Vera is going to land a perennial nerve kick again. Now, I might be wrong there. He could land it again. That'd be, what a world that'd be. But I do kind of agree with O'Malley when it says it wasn't a loss, because he didn't get beat. But it is a loss. But he didn't get beat, did he? He was beaten. It was a fluke. You know, he pulled out of the kick and it hit with the toes. His big toe hit the perennial nerve. It happens. I'm going to go O'Malley. I think, like I said, I think we're going to have a very Adesanya-like performance from O'Malley. Now in April, we are getting UFC 300, right? That's probably going to be McGregor Chandler. If it's either going to be McGregor Chandler, right? Main event. Co-main event, it will either be Khamzat versus Izzy or DDP versus Izzy. I'm not sure which one's more realistic. Khamzat seems more realistic at the moment, but it depends how damage-free DDP gets out of that Sean Strickland fight. And Sean Strickland really has a tendency to bust up people with his hands. He always has sharp hands. I'm interested about. I hate scrolling Twitter while watching these videos. While recording these videos. I'm just going to read out what Sean Strickland said, because we're speaking about him, kind of. we need to have an open conversation about seeing dicks. I'll change in the locker room and people will get uncomfortable. Bro, you literally jerked off the dudes all the time in porn. Yeah, me changing throwed you off. Bunch of closeted gays laughing my ass off. I don't get. Okay, we're just gonna move on for that. Yeah, he has a weird just way of cutting people out with just his hands. He doesn't really throw his hips into anything. He just kind of does it. Yeah, so I'm not sure how that would sell on UFC 300, right? But so does Izzy versus Khamzat. That sells on UFC 300. But that's probably McGregor's returns in UFC 300. I kind of thought they were going to be a bit. Well, when it was announced USADA were no longer partners with UFC, I kind of thought they were going to be a bit sneaky, put it in January, and then try and get them to turn around for UFC 300. But no, they played it safe, as they should. UFC 300, McGregor versus Chandler. Could be McGregor's last fight, really. It probably won't be, but it could be, depending. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a good start to the year, good free couple of months, especially because that Canada card's looking pretty good. What's that Canada card looking like? It looks pretty good, right? 297, I think. Is it UFC 297? Yeah, UFC 297, Strickland versus Duplessis. Okay, the UFC website doesn't have anyone on it, but there are people on it. I believe Cejudo versus Merab's rumoured for that card. So, yeah, it's looking good start to the year. I'm looking forward to it. We'll probably expect a McGregor announcement around January time, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope everyone else is looking forward to it. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Please like and subscribe. Sorry for the lack of uploads recently, but it's just circumstances. It's how it is. Goodbye.